very tragic to see the pain on the people who lost their homes. But we will recover from that. We'll help them recover from that. And until everything is set, public safety will be front and center.
Tonight, West Michigan is in recovery mode after tornadoes ravaged our area. News Channel 3 live at 11 starts right now. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on the night after the storms. I'm Andy Dominiani.
And I'm Jessica Harthorn. The widespread damage remaining in West Michigan tonight is now officially confirmed by the National Weather Service as being caused by 3 separate tornadoes.
And one of those, a very powerful EF2, meaning it brought winds as strong as 135 miles an hour.
And we do want to show you just how strong that kind of wind can be. Take a look at this video that we just got in tonight. As we speed it up, you can see everything going on. Oh my goodness, you can hear how loud it is, and then look at how one tree just comes crashing down right after another. Thankfully, nobody was hurt.
So many images like that coming into our newsroom, and so much damage, a lot to rebuild. Our chief meteorologist, Keith Thompson, is joining us live in the Weather Alert Center with the latest from the National Weather Service. Keith.
Yeah, you know, not only reports coming in from the survey team in Grand Rapids, but the survey team in northern Indiana as well, which did surveys of the storms in Cass County, in St. Joe County, and Branch County. Coming up in 15 seconds, I'll have more on that report.
Hi, I'm Abby Vandenberg with Maple Hill Subaru. Subaru is rated #1 in safety, product quality, and quality for the price by ACSI. We have our largest selection of Subarus on lot and ready for delivery. Maple Hill Subaru, for quality like no other.
Oh, well, tornadoes, several of them across West Michigan. Of course, we noted the one in Portage, but how about those tornadoes as well in northern Cass County around Dowagiac? You can see all those red markers there in eastern St. Joe County, east of Three Rivers, where around Constantine, it could have been one up to an EF2. That is yet to be confirmed, but right now it is preliminary, and then going right on into northeastern St. Joe County and also into northern Branch County as well. The storm survey results, Dowagiac confirmed now an EF1 tornado at 95 mile per hour max wind. Union City, that in northern Branch County, EF1 at 95 miles per hour, and a storm from Centerville that went right on up to about Minden. Very photogenic storm as well, an EF2. That's preliminary. That will be confirmed hopefully tomorrow with wind speeds up to 130 miles per hour. This is the way the Portage tornado looked as it was crossing Westage. Blake Naftel, thanks so much, Blake, for this photograph here. This was looking to the south, and here are the stats on that storm. An EF2 that had max winds of 135 miles per hour was on the ground for 11 miles. Of course, cleanup is underway. Tomorrow, those who are working cleanup might have to dodge some showers. I'll tell you more about that coming up. Andy?
All right, Keith, thanks. Speaking of tomorrow, Portage Public Schools will be closed again. Earlier today, the district sent an email to parents. The district says that while none of their buildings was damaged by the storms, the widespread destruction in other parts of the community is having an impact. That includes internet and phone connectivity, road closures, and power outages. Again, no school tomorrow again for Portage Public Schools. The district says that high school international baccalaureate and advanced placement exams are in the process of being rescheduled.
Our sports director, Andy Pepper, has spent the last 2 days shooting storm damage video for us in some of our hardest hit neighborhoods. And tonight he joins us live from Meredith Street in Portage, which is just off Sprinkle Road. Andy, what are you seeing there tonight?
Hey, good evening, everybody. You know, last night I grabbed a camera, went out to get as much video of storm damage as I could, and I headed up to the center Oakland intersection, which obviously was hit very hard. In fact, just a couple of houses down from that intersection, I met a delightful woman named Cookie. That's her nickname, Cookie. She says she's very lucky to be alive tonight after a large tree was uprooted, crashed through her bedroom ceiling, and landed right on her bed. Again, very lucky to be alive tonight. Well, that's the same type of story we're covering tonight here on Meredith Street in Portage. Take a look. A large honey locust tree just cut up, taken away in the last couple of hours, crashing on this blue Mazda and then into the house here on Meredith Street, while a large family, a family of 9, sheltered inside a very small basement bathroom. Stephen Burnett has lived in this Meredith Street home for the past 15 years, which he now shares with his sister-in-law's family and his mother-in-law. Burnett says his entire family rushed into their small basement bathroom as soon as they saw the path of the storm on live radar.
I had to see but once we seen it was getting serious and the alerts started coming in, we all went straight to the bathroom. I grabbed couch cushions and what I could to help cushion anything that would happen.
What was it like? You know it's coming.
Yep.
You stuff 9 folks in one small bathroom, and then all of a sudden it hits.
The lights flicker, and then you hear all the debris hit the house, and then we just hunkered down, and then we felt the house shake, everything, just one big thud. I felt like everybody just got punched. It was so loud. It felt just like a movie. You know, I was never experienced it before. My kids were terrified, so I had to try to keep them calm, but it was frightening for sure.
How scary was that when you heard that tree hit your home?
When it hit the house, like, it felt like everything went quiet. It was super loud. Like, my head started to hurt. It was just like super crazy.
13-year-old Keegan said he was relieved that his cat also made it into the bathroom and survived the tornado, while his dad is just appreciative at the outpouring of support from friends and neighbors.
Hundreds of people stopped by, offer help, make sure we're okay. People brought food, water. It's good to see some good in the world with everything going on nowadays. So it's just real refreshing to see people not afraid to extend themselves to help. So it's really nice. And nothing matters when life's on the line, you know, and I think that's very important.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We're obviously a very deeply divided nation right now, but when we have tragedy, when we have a natural disaster, a storm, you know, we really just put all that aside to help our neighbors. It really is wonderful. In that spirit, Stephen works as a process tech at Mon and Hummel. I spoke to their CEO, Kirk Wilkes, tonight. He said he was very disappointed to hear what Burnett and his family are going through, and he said that his team is going to be reaching out to support Burnett and any other employees that have been affected by this tornado. Reporting live from Portage, Andy Pepper, News Channel 3.
And recovery efforts are ongoing in Branch County tonight, also hit very hard by storms on Tuesday night. Our Autumn Pitcher spoke with one family there who only very narrowly escaped the destruction of their home.
Normally during a tornado, you would never take cover in a car like this, but that's exactly what one family did in Sherwood, Michigan. It ended up saving their life in just a matter of seconds. Take a look at this. This is their home pushed completely on its side. That's the same home they could have been inside. Today, they're left picking up the pieces of what they have left.
It was a near-death experience for Dean Mears and his fiancée. This is their home on Arney Road in Sherwood, a tornado ripping through, tossing it on its side like it was nothing more than a dollhouse.
I looked up for 1 sec, seen the house on its side. I told her, I said, our house is gone. And I mean, it just kept hitting.
They were inside just moments before, hopping into their car to escape, but it was too late for that too.
Watched that tree fall. Once that tree fell, she told me to back up. I started backing up.
Then another tree smashing into the windshield. Somehow they still survived. But the damage cuts even deeper than the broken glass that surrounds them.
I understand people say like that it can all be replaced, but how do you replace your memory that comes with the house?
It's more than just a house to Mears. His grandmother owned the home, passing it on to him. It's where he grew up and one day hoped to raise a family himself.
We've obviously have lost a lot of stuff that my grandma, you know, had throughout her lifetime here, and her house being one of them. You know, it's rough.
The family trying to make out what is left of their belongings scattered all across the yard.
Honestly, I don't know where to start. So today is really just a day of getting the rest of my clothes, our belongings, and I guess just everything else will probably have to move on.
Dean tells me his next door neighbor was also home when the tornado ripped through. He was actually trapped inside this house here. Thankfully, Dean tells me he was able to pull him out and he was transported to a local hospital where he is recovering from his injuries today. Thankfully, we know he was the only person that was injured in this tornado. Now we will continue to monitor the damage and keep you updated both on air and online. In Sherwood, Autumn Pitcher, News Channel 3.
Crews across the area have been working very hard to restore the power to the thousands of homes that lost it during yesterday's storms. Roughly 25,000 Consumers Energy customers were without power. And just over 24 hours later, most of those people have the lights back on tonight. As we take a live look at the Consumers Energy outage map, around 7,000 people remain without power at this hour. And most of the outages are being seen right now in St. Joseph County. At this time, more than 32% of Consumers customers in Sherwood are also without power, and more than 50% in Colon and under 25% in Burr Oak. In Kalamazoo County, the power has been restored to much of Portage, with roughly 17% without power. Those outages are mostly along Center Avenue in the surrounding area.
Now, the city of Portage is reminding people about the increased danger of carbon monoxide poisoning when mass power outages like this occur. They say homeowners should check roofs and venting for potential damage or blocks, and say if you're using a generator, to keep it outside and not in an enclosed area. Even a garage with the door open is not good enough, as the poisonous gas could build up to deadly levels within minutes.
Officials also warning tonight to watch out for scammers. The Better Business Bureau says that people may come by and offer to help out, but it is hard to tell if they're legit. Unfortunately, they could be trying to scam you. They say you should only hire contractors who are insured and have their license. And be careful if you ask for help on social media. The BBB says right now you should take pictures of all your damage, call your insurance company, and don't ever pay the full amount for repairs up front. And never sign insurance checks over to a contractor.
So now we're getting a look at some of the damage caused by severe weather in Galesburg last night. Dozens of trees are down in that area, and cleanup there will also take some time. We talked to one couple living there from Kansas. They say they're accustomed to severe weather, having spent time in Tornado Alley. However, when the winds picked up and the skies got dark last night, everything, they say, felt different.
See them coming, you have no warning. It was pretty much just, by the time we realized that was debris in the clouds, we needed to take cover. We ran down the stairs and came back up, and this is what was left.
We also spoke to a couple across the street who have 25 to 30 trees uprooted. With all the damage, many have turned to social media to try and reach out to those in need.
And News Channel 3's Nate Brown has more on how one local group used a status update to make a huge difference.
Well, even on a day when games were canceled, members of West Portage Little League coming together to work as a team. And what could be better than that?
I was just scared.
After Tuesday's tornado ripped through Portage, others started reaching out.
I got actually another phone call from another Little League that wanted to come from Gull Lake to Portage to try to figure out how to help. But as soon as he called, it kind of dawned on me. It was like, called arms, try to get everyone involved.
So try they did. And it didn't take long for that effort to pay off.
It kind of blew up. We had 100 shares and a bunch of comments, and I just asked for people to post addresses that needed help or people that wanted to join in and message.
Like this house here in Colony Woods, where fallen trees and brush left for quite the mess.
When I heard that people were going to come and help us, I was like, oh great, we don't have to do this by ourselves. And I didn't think that many people were going to come, but now there's so many people here that it's crazy that this many people want to help us.
We gave the leaders of tomorrow and Little Leaguers of today a chance to give back.
I've been helping all day. To find out that I was going to do this I was like, oh, well, let's see how bad it is. Because I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but it was pretty bad.
Really humbling to kind of have everyone come together and, really build that community.
And this house, the fourth stop of the day for West Portage Little League and their entire crew, just going around offering a helping hand. And while it may not have resulted in any kind of win or loss in the record book, I think it's safe to say that this was a big win all around for the community. In Portage, Nate Brown, News Channel 3.
Coming up next on News Channel 3, Ascension, Michigan says they've identified suspicious activity. What we are just learning tonight.
We're looking live over a quiet Cereal City, but rain is on the way for you. Battle Creek, in fact, all of West Michigan. I'm tracking it live hour by hour coming up.
You're watching News Channel 3 with Andy Dominiani, Jessica Harthorn, Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson, and Andy Pepper with sports.
Welcome back to News Channel 3 at 11. New tonight, a Battle Creek man is behind bars after police say he assaulted a neighbor over stolen property. Police say they responded to a man with a gun at 6 a.m. today on Yale Street. Police discovered two neighbors had been arguing over stolen property. The victim told police his neighbor pointed a gun at him during the argument. A 45-year-old man was arrested and charged with felonious assault. The case remains under investigation.
A West Michigan man is sentenced to prison for being a felon in possession of a gun. The U.S. District Court in Grand Rapids sentenced 29-year-old Terriel Turner to nearly 14 years in prison. He'll also have to go through 3 years of supervised release. Investigators say that Turner is a suspect from a shooting last July in Benton Harbor.
Today, Ascension, Michigan is reporting that it's experiencing a disruption in technology systems. The large healthcare provider says the unusual activity was detected with their network, and they've begun an investigation. Ascension says authorities have been notified, and they're currently working to determine what information, if any, has been compromised. They say if any sensitive information has been impacted, they will notify those whose information it is. While no other details are being released at this time, Ascension, Wisconsin also reportedly has been experiencing a similar disruption.
Well, it was a busy day for lawmakers in Lansing. While Michigan's budget for the fiscal year won't be finalized until later, lawmakers made around 200 appropriation amendments today. There are 241 amendments proposed by House Republicans and another 15 from House Democrats. The total budget, $80.9 billion. Democrats argue the massive amount of amendments are from Republicans trying to switch up the current priorities. Republicans, however, say that everything is being done in off-site back rooms, and there is now transparency and bipartisanship as well.
All quiet right now in West Michigan, but things are going to be changing, but not with storms, but just with some showers. We start off with a very quiet scene, looking live right now on M43 in the heart of Van Buren County. Hello, Bangor. Thanks to our partners at Horizon Broadband here for the view. And again, very quiet weather. For West Michigan, live Doppler radar showing the same thing. Nothing happening right now. This on our 100-mile scan. So we're going to zoom out to show you what is going on. And you can see a cluster of showers and some thunderstorms in Iowa and also in Minnesota. More storms off to the south in Indiana. This stretches all the way down into Tennessee and Alabama, where they are now having a run at some tornadoes, much like we did yesterday afternoon. They're seeing some very strong ones there, and some of them could be quite damaging in the Huntsville, Alabama area. Just checking in on some of those reports. It'll be interesting to see what happens overnight. And just like I'm sure their thoughts were with us yesterday, our thoughts are with them right now. Let's go hour by hour. You'll see our skies go from mainly clear to mainly cloudy, and with a few showers knocking on the door by 5 in the morning. But by the time we get to 7, 8, 9 o'clock, we'll see more of those showers pulling right into I-94 here, and then continuing to move to the north, as we'll see showers over much of the area here by about noontime. And notice our temperatures, no 70s here, no 60s. We're going to be staying in the 50s all day long. So you might want to put another layer under that raincoat too, because it's going to be a little bit chilly. Those showers hanging around at 5 o'clock, they start to move out by this time tomorrow night, and that will lead us into some sunshine come Friday. How about a live look in downtown Kalamazoo? All quiet. It's been a gorgeous day as we check out the view to the north with our Peregrine Tower camera here, looking right down the Kalamazoo Mall. 64 comfy degrees right now. It really isn't a night for open window sleeping if you prefer. 50s in Allegan and Hastings and Grand Rapids right now at 59. How about your low tonight? Right around 50 degrees. Mainly clear skies here for the next couple of hours and clouds building. And as I showed you on the hour by hour, by the time we get to dawn tomorrow, we're looking at some rain developing. Maybe a quarter of an inch or so. That's what's suggested by the forecast models there. It is going to be cloudy and chilly tomorrow. In fact, you see in the Sealy Auto Group 7-day forecast, we're looking for that high around 58 degrees. We'll be in the low 60s on Friday. A few showers possible Saturday, Sunday, Mother's Day. Right now looking really good, with a high around 68 degrees. So, we're not talking about a soaking rain tomorrow, one that's all day perhaps. So for those who are still trying to do some cleanup tomorrow, good idea to download our free weather app. But the key here, no storms tomorrow, just some rain.
Yeah, we've had quite enough of that.
For a long time.
A nice sigh of relief. Keith, thank you. Well, drug shortages continue to impact millions of Americans. The action the White House is taking to get these life-saving medications back on the shelf. Welcome back. Drug shortages have reached a record high in the first 3 months of this year, with more than 300 medications in shortage. And now it's forcing action from the White House.
Spotlight on America has reported for months on cancer drugs that have been in short supply for years, leaving patients and their doctors facing devastating choices.
National investigative correspondent Lisa Fletcher examines whether the new government proposal translates into action and how long it will take for patients to see the results.
Laura Bray's daughter was diagnosed with cancer at 9 years old. The suffering family was hit with another punch during her treatment. The drugs Abby needed to fight the disease were unavailable 3 times.
My 9-year-old asked me, what does this mean? She said, well, do I die? No one had an answer for her. Right? I didn't have an answer.
Laura Bray started asking questions, discovering that cancer drug shortages, especially for kids, have persisted for years. According to the FDA, 31 oncology drugs are in shortage right now. And as we first reported last year, up to 500,000 cancer patients are at risk of losing their life-saving treatment. The root of the problem comes down to money. Few companies make the drugs in the U.S. Instead, they're tied to a brittle supply chain rooted in overseas factories. We started asking why the government hadn't stepped in to create long-term solutions to ensure a more stable supply. Now, we're seeing the first signs of action. This 20-page report published by the Department of Health and Human Services. It focuses on addressing the problem from its pressure points, manufacturing and distribution. Laura Bray helped make that report happen as a member of the White House Drug Shortages Task Force.
It's not just about making sure we have supply. It's about making sure that supply gets to our patients without disparity every single time, no matter what facility, hospital, or clinic you go to. As a patient, as an American, you deserve access to that medicine.
The proposed solution includes creating 2 new organizations. One would evaluate drug makers on their supply chains and sourcing, showing how prepared they are for shortages. The other would track and rate hospitals on the importance they place on making sure the drugs they buy have a reliable supply. Eventually, incentives and penalties will be in place based on performance.
How long do you think it will take to develop the criteria to make the kinds of determinations that this white paper is asking for?
What I'm asking is for us to pilot this and test as we go. That we don't need to let perfection be the enemy of good here. There are patients who need us to act.
The cost of implementing the plan is up to $5 billion over 10 years. To put that in perspective, in the United States, we will spend at least $5.74 trillion over the next decade on medicines. Bray says most important is making sure plans being put out on paper actually put drugs in the hands of those who need them now.
We want action. We want full and real change. The work that's been activated in the last year is so hopeful to me. And I would be extremely devastated if we couldn't figure out how to get it over the finish line.
For Spotlight on America, I'm Lisa Fletcher.
All right, big changes coming to Disneyland, the hurdle that theme park just cleared, and what it means for its future.
Finally tonight, Disneyland is about to get a whole lot bigger. While no specific designs have been shared just yet, Disney did release concept art from what the expansion of its theme parks in California could look like. This comes after Disney cleared a major hurdle that will allow it to expand the parks without acquiring any new land.
Yesterday, the Anaheim City Council unanimously granted final approval to rezone much of that property. Zoning had been a barrier to expansion because previously Disney could only build hotels or parking lots on that land. Now the approval paves the way for Disney to add new attractions at both of its theme parks there. And I bet the price will go up accordingly.
It probably will. It doesn't usually go down.
Right.
Hey, tomorrow is going to be cloudy. We're talking about showers. No storms here, but it will be chilly too. So a damp and cool gray day with a high of 58 degrees.
Well, we know lots of folks have worked so hard today, including you, Keith, so take it easy tonight.
Just say a sigh of relief. We know there's so much more work to be done, and we're here with you for that.